Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to my channel, Scale Model Kit Review. I am back with another update this month with the DeAgostini Collectibles Ford GT. I am working on pack number 10, stages 43 through 47. I'll be working on the front end a little bit, the front radiator hoses, and the left front suspension. Now, if you haven't done so already, head over to DeAgostini Collectibles and subscribe to this car today. It's fantastic, and do it while it's available. So without further ado, let's get started. Before I begin with pack 10, I want to show you everything I've completed all the way up to pack 9, and we have completed the front nose section and hood, and that is a real beauty. One of the wheels, extra parts here for the lights, the top of the engine, the intake, and that's what that looks like. Two doors, and they look fantastic. The interior, and that was a lot of fun to build. And lastly, the lower chassis. Let's get started on pack 10. And welcome back. I received 5 more stages in pack 10, stages 43 through 47. Here's the parts for stage 43, parts for stage 44, the parts for stage 45, stage 46, and stage 47. Let's get started on stage 43. Let's flip through the stage 43 magazine here real quick. And these are very nice magazines. 12 to 13 pages, semi-gloss pages. A lot of research was done by DeAgostini. A lot of wonderful photographs, and the articles are fantastic. I've read every one of them. And included are your step-by-step instructions for assembling this. In this case, it's the radiator pipes. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the build instructions. And here's the radiator pipes for stage 43. These are all the parts. And I'll assemble these parts on the chassis. Just a few screws are going into this, FTO4 screws. Brake fluid brackets, they are called. Moving on, and that's what it should look like when we're done. Let me get the parts and I will be right back. Here's the parts for stage 43. I'll go ahead and take these out and I'll be right back. And here's a close-up of those parts. All are made of plastic except for the rubber hose connector here, and the screws we received, they're the FTO4s. Okay, bring over the chassis here. And this is our part that's going to go down on top of the chassis. And that's going to insert into that right there. Press down on there. Put a little lubrication inside there. FTO4 goes into this. There that is. Next we'll install these brake fluid brackets, and they are marked with an R and an L. Okay, so the R, this is the right side, since this is the front of the car. FTO4 goes into that. And that's tight. Do the other side. Slots in. Just like that. And that's tight. You can use 3-in-1 oil to lubricate those holes, or I use Vaseline. And here's some more radiator lines. These are rubber, and it's going to press down into this. There you go. And that's how that looks there. And there you have it. That completes stage 43. Let's head over and start on stage 44. Let's get started on stage 44. Let's look at the instructions. For stage 44, we're going to start assembling the front subframe. And that's what that looks like there. First thing we do is we install the spare wheel mount. And that gets screwed down. And then that's all we do in that stage. Let me get the parts and I will be right back. And here's the parts for the front subframe. I'll take this out, we'll get a closer look. FTO1 screws, the tire mount itself, and the subframe made of plastic. Very cool. Okay, so all we do is we take the subframe and we're going to put it from underneath through that. It's going to line up on a pin. And then we need to put a screw in. FTO1 screw goes into this. Perfect. And that's how that looks there. That's all we do for stage 44. Let's do stage 45. Let's begin stage 45 and look at the instructions. Stage 45 is a right-hand suspension arm, and these are all the parts that are with that. We have upper wishbone and lower wishbone, some screws, bracket. We'll be working on the right side first, installing those wishbones. That's how they look on the bracketry. The bracket will get installed on the subframe, and then once it's on the subframe, we will put some screws in to hold it in place. Paying attention to the upper and lower wishbones. That's what it looks like. Let me get the parts and I will be right back. Here's the parts for stage 45. I'll take these out. We'll get a closer look. Here are the parts. These are the wishbones. They are made of metal, upper and lower, and the bracketry FP06. Alright, here's our lower wishbone, and that's just going to go right there on the bracket, just like that. That's how that looks. And we'll put the upper wishbone on next, just like that. Has a little play there on it. Put this up against the subframe. And into the 3 slots there, just like that. FP06 screws go into this. Next one. And the last one. And that looks good there. That's how that looks. And that's all we do with this stage. Let's go ahead and get started on stage 46. Let's continue this build with the front suspension on stage 46. Let's look at the build instructions. Now we work on the left upper suspension arm. Same as before. We receive the wishbones, the bracketry, just like before. Mount that to the subframe. Put the 3 screws into it. And that's what it should look like. Let me get the parts, I'll be right back. Here's the parts for stage 46. I'll take these out, we'll get a closer look. And here are the parts. The wishbones are made of metal, top and bottom. Bracketry, FDO 6 screws. And make sure our lower wishbone is inserted just like that. Kind of snaps in there. Upper wishbone, just like that. We're going to mount this to the subframe. And it's going to go into those 3 holes, just like that. Once again, FDO 6 screws go into this. And final screw. And that's good. And that's what that looks like. And that completes stage 46. Let's head over and do the final stage, stage 47. And here's the final stage for pack 10, stage 47. Let's look at the instructions. Once again, we work on the right front suspension. This time we receive the shock absorbers and lower suspension joints, along with some springs, screws. A lot going on here. And we'll get our right front wheel that we assembled in stage 2. And we're going to install all these components onto it. And since this is a working suspension, this should be pretty cool. Put the spring in. That's how that looks there. And that's how it looks completed. Let me get the parts and I will be right back. Here's the parts for 47. I'll take these out, we'll get a closer look. Here's all the parts, and here are your shock absorbers along with the springs. Shock absorbers are plastic. The mounting brackets are made of metal. The springs are metal. FDO 5, FDO 6, and FDO 7. Bring over the wheel from stage 2. We'll turn this over and we're going to install these brackets onto the wheel. They are made of metal. Now they are keyed. There's a keyway. You can see that. So this is going to go into this, and then we're going to key this one into it. Perfect. FDO 5 screw goes into this. I did lubricate it. Perfect. And that is tight. And we'll be working on the right front. Here's your subframe. This is the right side and that's the left side over here on the other side. So we're working on the right side. And we're going to go ahead and install our shock absorber. And that's the short one here. That's just going to clamp onto that. Just like that. And bring over the other side of it, which is the long rod sticking out of it. That's going to clamp down right here. Next we'll put our spring into this. That's how that goes together there. And we're going to line this up with the wheel. And of course this rod right here is going to be facing the back side. We're going to slide this in. There. And slide it in on top here. There we go. FD06 goes into the top. Put that screw in from this side. Tighten it down. Good. Of course, make sure your spring is engaged on the shock correctly. We'll insert the bottom in. Put our screw into this. Feed it through. And it only screws in on the back side. I did lubricate it. And FD07 goes into that. Perfect. And fully functional. Very nice. That's how that looks. And that's all we do with Stage 47. That was a lot of fun building this and assembling everything. I'll be right back. And that completes Pack 10. This was a lot of fun. I'm having a blast building this. If you haven't done so already, head over to DeAgostini Collectibles and subscribe to this car today. This Ford GT is fantastic and will look beautiful on any shelf, anywhere. So if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for all video upload notifications. And please, smash that. Give me a thumbs up. Take care, everybody. Happy modeling.